Action! Ah! Quick. 3, 2, 1, action! LBJ, sometimes known as a political fiend. But before we go any further, let's just rewind. Phew. Yes, this is the real LBJ. He's not a guy with raised laser eyes, but he is a guy who has been awesome. He was the 37th Vice President of the United States, and he was the 36th President of the United States. And as we'll see later in this video, they had a ton of jobs. But for now, let's just get started. Oh no, the notes! It's okay, I can make another one. LBJ Lyndon Baines Johnson. Let's get started today with the introduction of LBJ. Gah! Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. There go the notes. Okay, we'll do without them. Today we will be talking about LBJ, and enough fun talk. So let's get started. Now LBJ is an awesome dude. This guy right over here has done a ton of jobs. I'm pretty sure you've already seen this guy's jobs. Military service, U.S. House of Representatives, Senate Majority Whip, Senate Minority Leader, Senate Majority Leader, United States Senator from Texas, 37th President of the United States. Don't forget that was his Vice President. Okay, 37th Vice President of the United States, 36th President of the United States of America. Yeah, we'll go into that in a bit more depth later. So, who was LBJ? He was a dude born in Stonewall, Texas, in a farmhouse, which kind of explains why he's wearing a farmer's hat and farmer clothing. And why does his sister look like a farmer's child a bit? But let's just set all that aside and whoosh, let's just go see him grow up. So this is probably his teenage years, just like probably during high school. I just got this in the public domain. And this is where he was born. At least this was the resurrected version of where he was born. I mean, yes, you can still go in there and stuff, but like this is a new version. It's not a real version in actual life, by the way. Alright, let's go into some personal details. He was born Lyndon Baines Johnson on August 27th of 1908 in Stonewall, Texas of U.S. And miraculously, he also died in Stonewall, Texas of the U.S. age 64 years old on January 22nd of 1973. He didn't even get to his 65th birthday. His resting place is at the Johnson Family Cemetery, at least currently. And the political party he was in was Democratic. His spouse, or his wife, was Claudia Lady Bird Taylor. They married in 1934, before World War II, and they had 2 children, Linda and Lucy. His parents was Samuel Lee Johnson Jr., who miraculously has his own Wikipedia page, and Rebecca Baines, which is probably why his middle initial B is Baines. And the education, well, he's from the Southwest Texas State Teachers College, which basically meaning he became a teacher, and he also went to the Georgetown University, but never got a degree. Although he did get a BS in Southwest Texas Teachers College. His occupation was a politician and a teacher, and the civilian awards he got was the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and posthumously he got that in 1980. His signature was this. I can hardly read it. Alright, now let's get into his jobs. World War II has started, so this is what was supposed to be needed. He served in the military in the United States Navy, and these were the years of his service. From 1940 to 1941, sorry about that. From 1940 to 1941, he was inactive, and from 1941 to 1942, he was active, and from 1942 all the way to 1964, he was in reserve, meaning that he could do anything else, but he could just, if there was something needed of him, then he had to be pulled back in. And his rank was commander. And the battles or wars that he fought in was just World War II. And he was part of the Salamanca Lake campaign, by the way. And his military award, the Silver Star. Silver Star. Anyways, then, on April 10th of 1937, he became the member of the U.S. House of Representatives from the Texas's 10th District, meaning he was now a congressman. Well, he served that until January 3rd of 1949. Wow. 12 years later, he served 2 terms, and he was preceded. The previous U.S. House of Representative from Texas 10th District was James P. Buchanan, and he was succeeded by Homer Thornberry. Obviously, they have their own Wikipedia pages. He then paused for 2 years, and then on January 3rd of 1951, he won the Senate Majority Whip, and he was in office since January 3rd of 1951 all the way to January 3rd of 1953, just 2 years. What a measly 2 years. The leader of this Senate Majority Whip was the Ernest McFarland. McFarland. And he was preceded by Francis J. Myers, and he was succeeded by Leverett Saltonstall. He was also the chair of the Senate Democratic Caucus in the office of January 3rd of 1953 all the way to January 3rd of 1961. If I do the math quickly here, 80 years here. He was preceded by Ernest McFarland. Wait a second. Ernest McFarland was the leader. And before him was... oh my god, Fartland was before... Okay, sorry McFarland, but let's just go on. And he was succeeded by Mike Mansfield. He was also became the Senate Minority Leader in November 7th of 1956 to January 3rd of 1957. Wait a second, I see a pattern here. January 3rd. Well, that was weird. I mean, look. He was also in office since January 3rd of 1953 all the way to January 3rd of 1955 too. His deputy was Earl C. Clements. Was preceded by Charles Bridge back then, and he was succeeded by William F. Noland. Wow, he was preceded by once by William F. Noland, and he was succeeded by twice by William F. Noland. How is this guy so good? And then he became the Senate Majority Leader on January 3rd of 1957 and January 3rd of 1961. Another January 3rd. His deputy was also Mike Mansfield by now, and he was also preceded by, you guessed it, William F. Noland, and he was succeeded by Mike Mansfield. I mean, I'm not going to believe all this. I mean, Wikipedia is only 80% accurate due to 2022, so I'm not just gonna believe all this, but this is the best reliable information I can get. At least it's reliable as Britannica. And then from January 3rd of 1949, again January 3rd to January 3rd of 1961, he was the United States Senator from Texas, and he was preceded by W. Lee O'Daniel, and he was succeeded by William A. Blackley. And now we get to the juicy part. The 37th Vice President of the United States from January 20th of 1961 to November 22nd, 1963, mainly because, well, President Kennedy got shot. And the president was John F. Kennedy, and preceded by Richard Nixon, which was succeeded by Hubert Humphrey. And then the 36th President of the United States, he became from November 22nd, 1963, all the way to January 20th of 1969. I mean, he already got re-election anyway. So, yeah, it's kind of awesome. And now let me tell you the story of the 36th President of the United States. This is what happened. John F. Kennedy... Oh, my God, the notes are burnt. Okay, never mind. John F. Kennedy was here. And then LBJ was like, hey, I'm older. I have more respect. Hey, I will win easily. So after he did his campaign speech, John F. Kennedy came, and he was like, I will do everything, and blah, 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 blah. He charmed people. He used his dad's monies and stuff, and that instantly beat LBJ off the ticket of president. Ooh. But before he could get kicked off the ticket completely, this is what had happened. John F. K asked him to be his VP on the ticket, and he was like, sure. So they traveled around together, campaigning together, and then LBJ asked his advisors, like, how many times, what is the odds of the vice president turning into president? And they told him, 1 out of every 5 presidents. And that's 20%. This might be worse chances, but this was his best chances that he would ever get, he told a friend. And then, one eventful day, on November 22nd, 1963, this happened. President John F. Kennedy, with Lyndon B. Johnson in a car with a flat open roof, were like, yeah, woo, hello people, and then, while they were passing a building, Kennedy got shot. After finding out news about John F. Kennedy being dead, LBJ goes off to a plane called Air Force One. I'm just gonna call it AF1. And this is where he said before liftoff, he was sworn in to be the President of the United States of America. And he did a lot of surprising great things, in fact. This is what really happened. He made a lot of good programs like Medicare and Medicaid. He even made some housing policies, he even helped go on with the civil rights. He even talked to MLK, for heaven's sake. However, this wasn't going to last. After everything, and Medicare and Medicaid are still here today, by the way. Medicare and Medicaid, they're still here today. Medicaid helps the poor, and Medicare helps the elderly. And these programs still exist today. You could think of LBJ as being the second FDR, the second Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and the so-called Great Society. He did a speech that I'll be doing in Michigan. He did a speech of it in Michigan, and I'll be doing that speech on this channel. By the way, we've already passed the 50th speech, so yay! 100 speeches to go! Anyways, he even created the Great Society Plan, which basically was the second New Deal. Hey! However, once he realized that Bobby Kennedy was going to go up to become president of the United States for re-election, he was allowed to have re-election for a second term. He was like, uh-oh. And he realized that it was KO. But then later, everyone found out that during a meeting, he got shot. So LBJ's time was like the power curve of the 5 stages of the empire. His first phase was done. His second phase was done. His third phase was so great. And his fourth phase fell. And then his fifth phase is still coming yet. After he fell out of his presidential empire, he decided to write a novel and retired back to the birthplace of his ranch. This is what he looked like before he died. However, this guy reminds me a lot of someone. I wonder who. Anorak or James Halliday, of course. Yeah, I guess these two look a bit similar. If this guy just wore some glasses and put his hair back, he would have looked really great. And actually very similar too. Weird. Then he died on January 22nd of 1973 at the age of 64 years old. He did a lot of great things, yes, but because of his actions during the Vietnam War, it kind of made his empire plummet down. As being a popular president, he then fell down to a very unpopular president. All I have to say for him is, LBJ, all he did was his best. Maybe he didn't really think of it. Maybe he really did have laser eyes secretly. But we'll always remember him as being Lyndon Baines Johnson. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys really do want to learn more, please consider liking this video and sharing it. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. So, Shannon out. Peace. Loading. 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 Boing. Notes created. Oh, come on, it's the end of the video.